Now this is the final image that was dropped. So I want to quickly show you what I did. Let me open the raw image, the one I've not touched. See? 6.4. Load it up. Alright. So now this is the raw image. Okay. First, let's look at the temperature. I shot it at 4450 and exposure 0. These are a few things I touched. I took my highlights down, brought up the shadows, and da 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 da. All right, so now let's quickly go to what else did I do? Okay, I just went to my curves and still drop down some of the highlights from the curve. Then the lights, I pull them up a little. Then the shadows, I pull them out some more. So that's it for Camera Raw. After everything, I just opened it and loaded it up into Photoshop, and this is it. So this is after I had applied Camera Raw settings to it. This is it. Now let's quickly start. This is the background. I changed the background from gray to this. Now I played around with some of the reds, and this is it. Let's start with the frequency separation. Now inside the frequency separation, I did something. Normal frequency separation, you do your smoothing and the rest. Now in between the high and low frequency, I did something, and let me quickly explain that. Now this layer I created was a blank layer. I filled it up. I sampled a part of her skin, filled it up with my paint bucket tool, and just drop it like that, then like that. Now the first layer is blended to soft light, and the second layer is color. Now I reduce all of them to 50% and group them, and maxed out only her skin. So the effect is applied only on the skin. As you can see, I'm pressing Alt down and the mask to show you only the skin I was selected for this effect. Now after doing that, I had to reduce the opacity to like 60. Okay, let's keep it at 65. Okay, I think this is fine. All right, so now the next thing I did was to play around with my yellows. There's some amount of yellows on this sample I did, and I went to my reds too and played around with my reds and got this. Okay, I'll just took down the reds a bit, and I saved it as a preset. So if you need a preset, I can upload the preset and send it to you. And what else do I? Okay, I think those are the only things I did. Normally, you're supposed to be relative, but I used absolute to be very certain of the colors I'm working on. All right, so now that's it for. Usually you guys are supposed to know what to do on your high frequency and your low frequency. All right, so now that's for frequency separation. I'm done with this. So now let's get to this zoning. Zoning is one way you can separate your shadows, midtones, and your highlights. Now what I did there was to create a layer for my shadows. For the shadows, I have to drop this down. I use an cover adjustment layer to do this. Cover adjustment layer to do this. Now shadows, I took it down from here, then went to my blending options to separate it from the highlight. Now I put this only on the shadows. Now midtone, I did removed it from the shadows and from the highlights, and I left it there only on the midtones. Okay, then for highlights I have to boost the lights up and separated it only to the highlights, pulled it off from the shadows and the midtones. Now it's only on the highlights. Alright, so now I grouped all of them and reduced the opacity to 43. Now after that I added gradient map, and I changed this to soft light. Now look at the values I used for my gradient map. For my shadows is pure black. Look, you can see everything is 0, pure black. Then for the midtone I dragged it down to the location at 28, and I used these values here for the midtone. And for the highlights, look at this. These are the values I used for the highlight. So now this is it, and I reduced that to 32. Now I did dodge and burn. After doing my dodge and burn, look at what I did. I brushed some part of her face for the burns, and this for the highlights. Oops. Yep, that's it. This side of her face was already lit up by this zoning I did, so there was no point dropping highlights here. So I just did for this side of her cheek, mouth, nose, and some part of her head to pop the lights up. That's from dodge and burn. Then I did eye whitening, normal, yeah, to whiten the eyes. Look at it. Let me zoom closer. Whitening. Now again I added some colors to her lips. Yep. Yeah. Now lastly I did what they call liquify. This side was too low, this side was also low, so I just did liquify and balanced this whole image. Now that's it for today. Thank you very much for your time. My name is Wisdom Praise, and bye for now.